And we are live. Welcome everybody to the 25 Marketing Mastermind. We are so glad you made it. I don't know why I'm doing this, but I feel like I need to do this and down or something. But I did it again. I did it again. I'm hearing myself. There we go. Muted myself. Cool, cool, cool. All right. I hate hearing my own voice. Don't you hate hearing your own voice? It's the worst thing in the world. I don't know why it is. You think your voice sounds like the worst thing ever.
I disagree. I like hearing my voice, but then again, you know, I'm so full of myself.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, what is going on? What is going on? I can hear everything in the background.
I don't know, Dave. What's going crazy on us?
Are you kidding me?
Mute everything. Mutiny. Jamie,
Okay,
we're live, right? We're good?
Okay, hold on. Let me, oh my goodness, I have to do this. Everybody,
yeah, we're live.
Dave's gone crazy, everyone. You've seen it first on the Monday Night Mastermind.
All right, yeah, there we go. I'm not hearing voices anymore. I'm not hearing voices anymore.
I'm going to leave that one alone.
Okay. Okay. Hope you're feeling great. Anyway, back to somebody who appreciates me. Pops, how are you doing? How are things going? Your connection is so much better this time around. What changed?
I'm sitting at a different end of the picnic table. Maybe that's it. I have no idea. We have a wide magnet sitting here at the other end of the picnic table where I was, so maybe that's like she's got her antennas up. She's doing this for me.
I might have. Did it help? Did it help or did it?
Absolutely. And I'm doing great. Thank you. We went canoeing or kayaking this morning out on the lake and found the manatees again and hung out with them. It was super fantastic. It was unbelievable. These animal creatures are like 10 feet long. The one that we were touching and petting, and they look like they have fins that are just humongous. Just a tail fin. They're like a whale. And they call them gentle giants and elephants of the
what are they called again?
Anyway, manatee, M-A-N-A-T-T-E-E. Fantastic creature.
There's another name.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Water elephant.
Yeah, water elephant is another name for them.
You can tell, Katie, I can hear everything that's going on. I can hear the whole conversation. Katie, I can hear Katie.
Okay.
Yeah. Skip over me for now.
Yeah, skip Katie for now.
Okay, we'll just skip Katie. All right. So with that being said, Mr. Jamie Shaw, I believe you had a similar issue to mine in that you had to go and reinstall your entire computer, and now it's working like a brand new machine. There was nothing like it in the world working on a brand new machine. How's that going for you, sir?
No, it's not like a brand new machine yet. I'm ready to throw it out the window because, you know, when you redo your machine, you know, of course you have to reinstall all the software, you know, like Office and Adobe and Camware software and all that stuff, you know, so it just becomes a big pain in the rear end. So I started on this about noon yesterday, and I'm still doing updates and stuff like that. I just got my Office all reinstalled and everything, got all my updates. I didn't think I was going to make it on this computer on the Hangout. I thought I was going to have to get on my other computer, but you know, even as much as I love working on computers, reinstalling the operating system and all your software is like going to the dentist and have your teeth pulled. Yeah, I hate it. But once you get it, it's like a brand new machine, you know, and don't hang up anymore. Actually, what happened is I downloaded a virus from somewhere, come into my email or something, and I just happened to, it looked like from somebody I knew, and I opened it. And the last time that happened, it happened at the company I work for, and our server did it, and he downloaded one of them ransomwares, and it locked every file in our whole office. Anything that was a picture, an Office file, you know, an Adobe file, it locked everything. And luckily, you know, I have
good backups. Backups, Dave. Backups. I have good backups at the office, so I just went and deleted all the ransomware files, and found the virus and deleted it, and then found all the ransomware lock files and deleted all them, and then restored all my files from the backup. So, and same with this. I had all my backups on my OneDrive and my Google Drive, so most of my files are coming back, but you still got to reinstall everything. So as soon as I'm done, I'll have it like new computer. So,
all right. Well, that's what I mean. I mean, whenever you leave a PC over long periods of time, it becomes slow and drudgery. It just feels like you're moving through mud. And when you have a brand new installation, especially when it's a brand new installation, everything just works so much better. So I have a rule. My PC, I reinstall every 3 months at least. And then, that way I can still keep up to date with how things work. But I understand that completely, especially when you have to reinstall and you're so used to certain things and you can't really remember what you were using before because this obscure program in the background was there and you used it every now and then suddenly you want to use it. Like I completely forgot to install Jing, and I'm trying to make this video and put up a picture, and so I'm looking for Jing and I can't find it anywhere, and then I realized, are you kidding? I gotta go in. Oh my goodness! So I had to go and find it, and then the worst part is sometimes you forget what the program's actually called. So you're looking for picture grabber tools, and then you finally find out what the name is. So yeah, that actually that happens to me a lot. I'm not
the best one was the best piece of software. It was Camtasia. I couldn't find my registration code for Camtasia, and I had to log into TechSmith to get it. And I'm like, man, what's my password? And I had to go on this computer because I have Outlook on this computer too, and I had all the email downloaded and had to search for TechSmith to find my password because I couldn't remember my password. So that's why I use LastPass, so I don't have to remember my password.
Oh yes, of course, passwords. I generally have. For my operations, I have password, like a secure password, and then I have something called a throwaway password, which I use all the time for programs that it doesn't really matter. For my important stuff like my banking and stuff like that, with all of my Bitcoins, I have some really secure passwords. But generally speaking, for the typical programs I use, I have a throwaway password that I have 2 of them that I use. And anyway. So I don't know. Tell me, is Katie available to talk, or is she in the middle of her little conversation?
And are you
Still tied up.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, with that being said, we actually want to get down to the subject matter of what we're going to be talking today, and we really want to talk to everybody here who is on this. A couple of things, but before we get into that particularly, I have some questions I want to ask people here on the panel. All right, so I've got some questions. Nobody has heard these questions before, and I haven't told anybody. All right, so I appreciate that. And if you are watching this on the Hangout, so I can see Joe, I can see Maria, I can see Angie, I can see a few people. I'm going to scroll up to see them all. But hope everybody is doing well. And I got a question for you. And I want to see what type of answers you can give me, all right? So this is the first question I want to ask. And the question I want to ask is this. What do you think is the biggest lie that is told in the online marketing community? What do you think is the biggest lie that is told in the online marketing community? The reason I say this is because I want to help eliminate some of the myths out there about this industry. And so I'd like to know, what do you think the answer would be? And so if you have an answer, let me know in the comments. And perhaps we can we can get one of the panelists to answer the question. And look, we may have some different answers. There's no one correct answer for this. But what do you think is the biggest lie told in the online marketing industry? So anybody on the panel?
my experience, I bought into the lie first and realized it was a huge lie. That it's what I got told all the time was it's not easy, but it's pretty simple. Like I bought into that, and you can make 10,000 a month easy or simply or whatever. And it's the money part that got me, because it once you get it, once you figure out A to B to C to D, it does get pretty simple, and you're kind of like, duh, why didn't I think of that before? But it's the process of going through and having to learn the skill sets and the patience in order to get there first. And I think that's what got me, is that why I thought something was wrong with me, and I was thinking like, why am I not getting this? Why am I not making the $10,000 a month? And I kept focusing on the money instead of helping other people. So that was my experience.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with that as well. There's definitely that true, and I see that we have some answers here. So Laurie has said anyone can do it, get rich quick. We've got Robert that says plug in and make money instantly. Joe Mack has said quick profits, and Maria has said you only need one system. And I got to say, I like Laurie's answer, and that one was that anybody can do this. And I have said this, I don't know how many times, and I honestly do believe that potentially anybody can do this, but in my heart of hearts, I know that it's not for everybody. This industry is not for everybody. Some people don't like the fact that they have to be in charge of their own business. Some people don't like that. It doesn't relate to me at all, because that's certainly something I want. But I think that in a lot of cases, this perhaps is not for many people. All right, because either they suddenly realize that it takes too much work. It's, for instance, saying that they're not really enjoying it. And I'm not saying that nobody could do this. I'm saying that it's not for everybody. At least that's my experience, because I've seen people that have tried this, that just decide, this isn't for me because I really don't want to go down this road. But I see them excel in so many other things. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think anybody can do this? Do you think it's like a double-edged sword?
There's a lot of people who. There's a lot of people. Anybody can do it if they really want to, because everybody can change. They can change themselves as we do. We're all doing that now. There are people out there who are so super shy or uncomfortable with other people that they won't recognize the opportunity anyway. So it's a matter of what your outlook on life is and whether you can recognize the potentially opportunity. And if you listen to the person who approaches you with an opportunity like this, but yeah, anybody can if they really want to, barring any physical, not physical either, just some kind of disease that they have that won't allow them to participate. But beyond that, it's not easy, but it isn't hard. It takes a lot of work, and it takes a lot of commitment and a lot of soul searching as well for how you approach people, and you have to learn a lot. There's new skills that need to be learned. Obviously, that goes with any job or any business that you want to get into. So all it does is take the desire and the why. Why do you want to be able to make $10,000 a month instead of maybe $3,000 or $4,000 in the job, and you have to listen to some idiot who doesn't know as much as you. In my job, they promoted idiots because they didn't know how to fire them. That's just the way it is in some industries. So you had to put up with that stuff. But so I guess it depends on your attitude mostly.
Yeah, I certainly know that. I mean, I often say to people that I've done it, and if I've done it, anybody can do it. Because if anybody had a reason not to be able to succeed in this industry and not be able to be financially independent, it would be a guy living in a third world country, understanding that the rand and the dollar, there's just no, like the rand in my country is terrible. All right, for me to even for $200 for me, that in a lot of places is a full-time salary. And so people look at those obstacles and they think, well, how could somebody from a third world country actually do this? And the truth of the matter is that I have been able to do it. And so on the one hand, I want to say that, yes, it's possible. Anybody could do this. But I also understand that not everybody will do it. Not everybody will do it. And as Robert says, it's, a lot of people don't like to take risks. So I think fundamentally it comes down to having the right mindset, having the right attitude towards what you're doing. I think honestly it comes down to that.
Can I just say something about that, Dave?
Yeah, sure.
About coming from someone who worked 31 jobs in 17 years. How did I almost? We were talking about how old I was because it was my birthday yesterday. So I was 21. So the 21 was stuck in my mind. But anyways, for someone who had 31 jobs in 17 years, I realized that there are people who find their passion and find their why in doing dishes, taking out the trash, driving the school bus, being a doctor, doing all the things that I no longer want. I mean, I've never been a doctor. That, I've driven a school bus, I've taken out the trash, I've done the dishes, I've waited on tables, I've made drinks, I've delivered bread, I've delivered groceries, I've also delivered mail. But all the things that these people do, they find passion and they find, they're comfortable in that space. So I don't try to say that they don't have the right mindset or they don't have the right drive, because they could be happy just the way they are. And I love that. I don't envy that. I'm just saying I love that. But, if you're listening to this, obviously you're on this and you don't feel that way, because none of those people are probably going to watch this. But there are the people who are watching this know that there's something more. There's something bigger. There's something that they want to take hold of, and it's not sitting well with them to work for somebody else. And that's why you're here. So for those who do want to be an employee, thank you for getting the stuff done that needs to get done in this world. With those who don't want to, this is what we teach you: is get out there in the marketplace and do the right things and make something of yourself bigger. So
I think that's a terrific answer. And Jamie, you want to say something along those lines, man? What do you think the biggest lie is?
Well, they all stole my answers. I always thought, when they said it's easy, and that is the biggest lie. I mean, it's not hard, but it's not easy either, because you go through a roller coaster of emotions, for, the first couple of weeks or the first month, you're working your butt off trying to make all of this, and you're treating it like your night job, because you just worked all day and you come home and you're working it, and then at the end of the month you don't get a paycheck. You're like, oh, this is a scam, so then you just start slacking off more. But the real people that know it works, we still have our ups and downs. We still go through times when we get stuck, and sometimes we don't know how to get ourselves unstuck, and that's where we help each other out, by having sponsors and mentors and stuff like that. And but the biggest take I have from the network marketing industry is that it's not as easy as everybody says it is. Sure, it's easy to do, and it's easy to learn the steps, but the hardest part is making yourself take action.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, I would say that that's a pretty common theme here, and that is that people get told a lot of the times that it's the easiest thing in the world. Don't worry, it's just dead easy. All you got to do is just follow these steps. But the irony about that is that people don't follow the steps because people are not consistent. They don't have the right mindset to actually carry on working. They don't feel empowered. They don't feel passionate. And so this is why we say that if you want to start a business online, you need to find your passion. One of the people on the comments here, her name's Andrea. She's found her passion, and that's that she loves working. She loves animals. Same with Jovi. She loves animals. And the thing that Andrea's done is she has decided to build a business around dogs and how to treat them and how to feed them and how to give them everything they need. And that's something she absolutely loves and adores. And it's because of that passion that it keeps her moving forward. And this is one of the things I love about Andrea, is that she doesn't seem to have the word stop in her vocab. She just makes a way for her to carry on working on something. And if something doesn't work out, she'll just keep finding another thing. And I can remember on many occasions where she's tried something, it hasn't really worked out, so she's just gone on to something else. And this is the reason why Andrea will succeed in her online marketing industry. And she has very much succeeded. She's made sales. She's got tons of leads. She's building her business, but she is focusing on her passion. And that's the thing that a lot of us need to do. We need to find out what it is we love. If you are a person who, for instance, if you love cooking, is cooking one of the loves and joys that you have? You've got to think about telling people about that. If you know how to make amazing meals, start a YouTube channel out there, get people to watch what you're doing. And while you are talking, you can talk about the fact that you actually are in the business of helping other people do exactly what they do, finding their passion. So you share with people your love and your passions. You attract that type of crowd to you, and you work with that. The same with Andrea, that's what we do. We do what we love. One of my favorite subjects in the whole wide world is figuring out how the mind works, figuring out how we persuade people, figuring out why it is that people do the things that they do. Why is it that we are working on a subconscious level most of the time? That our actions actually are motivated by things that we do subconsciously. It's our subconscious that gets us to do most of the things we want. We're not really logical people. We may think we are, but we're not. All right. The only logic really comes down to is like what gear to change to when you're driving or when to brake. But if you think about when people buy houses, when people get married, people enter relationships, when people buy cars, how many of those choices are logical? I guarantee you that most of the reason is a psychological underlying reason. We are illogical people. And this is what I love to study about people. And that's what most of my videos are about. I just uploaded a video today on brainwashing and what it actually is and how people can understand it better, because people have a very mis idea, or they don't understand what brainwashing actually is. So I made a video about it to share with the world. So that's what I love doing. That's what keeps me going. So I have another question. All right. And here's the other question I want to ask the panel, and I want to ask everybody who are commenting on this. And that is, and think about this. All right. Because you may think this is fair, or you may think this is unfair. Why is it, do you think, that online marketers are so guarded about their strategies? Do you think they should be guarded? Do you think they should just release all the information to the whole world for people to know? Why do you think people are so guarded about the strategies that they have learned over the years? Why aren't they sharing everything with you? Why do you think that is?
Oh my gosh, I used to be so guarded. When I started in this industry, for the first 2 years, I had to learn everything on my own. So I obviously, that's my baby, right? The strategy that I'm trying to build or figure out, that's my baby. I want to be first. I want to be the first one to experience it. I want to be first, yada, yada, yada. So I was so guarded on that. And until I realized that the more I share and the more I give away, but hold a little back, just a little bit, the more people are drawn to you, instead of you being so secretive, or me. This is what I learned. Instead of being so secretive, I decided to share more, and it felt better. But that's the whole reason, is that the reason why in my experience, is that I was just so guarded because I wanted to be first. I wanted to be the first one to do it. I wanted to have the credit. So that's my thing. Not anymore though.
So what do you think then is the main reason why they're so guarded? Why do you think?
A lot of people believe that there's not enough people in the world. You know, they think that if they give away their strategies, and I agree with Katie, not all strategies should be given out necessarily, depending on who you're talking to. But if you're doing it on social media or whatever, you still want to hold a little bit back, I believe. But a lot of people think that prospects and people to sign up are limited, but that's not a true story. There's so many people that would connect only with you, but not with someone else. You know, just because they would resonate with you. Another person might give out the same information as you and talk the same talk you do, but they would resonate with you, so they would go with you instead. And there's how many people in the world, even in third world countries, who can still get online that would be interested in something that you have to offer. And actually, there is a lot of potential in that. If they're just searching online for anything and they come across a video that you've made or something that you've got going, you may spark something in them that would trigger them to take interest. And that happens a lot. They may not even know it until they see you, that they may be interested in doing something like you're doing. So there is no real good reason to hold strategies back. It's a fallacy in my idea, and I think people are misinformed on how they should approach getting prospects and connecting with people.
Yeah, it's, you know, it's kind of, you know, I will say this, if I can just relate this to me making vape juice. And I know that sounds like a real stupid thing, and you've heard me talk about vaping and steeping and that sort of thing. But, you know, there are formulas for vape juice that people work on for a long, long time. And the reason it costs so much to buy this particular vape juice right over there, okay, it's a formula that's been figured out over time. And it takes a long time to actually get that flavor out. It takes like 2-3 weeks for that flavor to actually come out. And if you go and ask somebody in the vape industry, what is it they do to make that flavor? Do you honestly think they're going to give you the answer? I mean, they'll give you all of the tools, they'll give you all of the liquids and the flavors, and you can try and figure it out. But there are some things that are just kept a little bit secret because we understand that people don't appreciate it. We understand that there is an appreciation for that. And on the one hand, giving out all your secrets will do one thing. People won't take you seriously whenever you've got to say something important. At least that's the way I feel. So, and I've done this time and time again when I've actually given out a strategy to people, Free Willy, like the movie Free Willy. I've given this out.
I was just gonna say.
I've given out the formula, and it works. And there are a very small percentage of people that actually take action on it. Very small amount of people take action on that strategy. And I remember, and you know, there's nothing wrong with giving everybody the whole bag. But the truth is that not everybody's going to receive it. And that's why people need to work for it. People need to work for it. And so I've just discovered another platform that I'm using. I'm not going to share it with the whole world because I know that even if I told you the platform, only for a very few people that are on this Hangout watching, very small percentage of people will actually take the information and say, hey, let me use that and run with it. But the truth of the matter is that if I told everybody this secret, very few people will actually use it. Because they're not working towards it. And this is why we only share that type of information inside of our workshop Warrior Institute, that when we get together every Saturday and we share and we help people, because those are the ones that take their business seriously. And, you know, speaking of which, I just wanted to mention something, and that is that, you know, we have a guy here in our midst He's busy on. He's on the comments, and that is Uncle Bob. Now, if you don't know who Uncle Bob is a very active person inside of our workshop, and he is in the recruitment industry. All right, so he recruits people and finds people work, especially in the I think it's the corrugated box industry. Is that right? I think that's right. Just correct me if I'm wrong there, Robert. But you know, he's in an industry which is quite tough. All right, he gets a lot of negativity inside of this industry, but because of the training that he's received inside of the system that we use inside of My Lead System Pro, he gets to have the upper hand and gets to actually share with a lot of people how he can find work for people. And actually, he was mentioning just last week that because he was able to place somebody in work, that person's marriage was actually saved because the marriage was on the rocks, and that's what keeps him going. And Robert is the guy that just keeps on coming back. He keeps on wanting to learn. He keeps on trying to figure out new ways that he can expand his search. And this is what he uses all of the training inside of My Lead System Pro for. And I've seen a huge change inside of Robert. I've seen a massive change, right? Because he was with us a few years ago and he had to do some other things and get distracted. But then he came back and he came stronger than ever. All right. And all of us have seen that change inside of Robert. All right. He's a different person. He virtually is a different person now because he has grown so much. And that is purely because he's learning. It's purely because he's interacting. And that's the other thing that I really admire about Robert, and wish I had this when I first got started, was that he's always willing to learn. He's never going to say, oh, no, that will never work. Or, oh, no, he will always consider the other person's opinion and will say, well, maybe I should think about that. Well, thank you so much for that so I can correct it. All right. There is no ego with Uncle Bob because he understands that the reason he is moving forward is because he's taking in new information. And that's the type of people we really appreciate. All right. And that's the type of attitude you need to have. All right. And we see this with so many other people. All right. I've got a guy named, we've got a guy named Ricky. If Ricky's watching. And the cool thing about Ricky is that Ricky doesn't, like, whenever he learns something new, he has to teach it. If he learns something new, he has to teach it. And he got so excited about what he was learning, he started telling his mom about this. And as a result of that, his mom started her own YouTube channel, talking about what she was passionate about, talking about what was important to her. And while he was teaching this to his mother, his mom was passing him in views on YouTube and becoming quite popular because of what he taught. And as a result of him helping, he is developing success inside of his business. And this is why we appreciate people like Robert and Ricky and Andre and Jovi, because they just keep on working. All right. No matter if they get results or not, they just keep on working. And that's what we appreciate with everybody out there. So, you know, understand that if people seem guarded about their strategies, I would feel that it's because, first of all, they need to know that you're serious. They need to know that you actually are somebody who wants to use the information. All right. And you know, this is what happens. All right. There's no real secrets out there. You just got to find them. You got to work at them and find them. All right. And so I believe the reason people are guarded about their strategies is because, honestly, if you've worked really hard at something and you've got into a result because you've figured it out yourself, you understand that there is an amount of hard work that needs to be done inside of your business. And the truth is that nobody's going to just give it all to you. Nobody's going to give it all to you. I guarantee you, if somebody as new is on here and I gave you a personal copy of my entire PC and said, here we go, now be successful, and you can have all the resources I use, I guarantee you nothing would happen. Nothing would change because there is no incentive to work. There is no passion to carry on. I don't know if you guys want to say anything.
I actually do. I had an aha moment during this hangout, so I appreciate that, Dave, because what you talked about, why people are so guarded about their strategy. I wasn't thinking. I was thinking of me being by myself and putting it out in the world and not wanting to tell all. But when it comes to places like community where you have your own personal team, like we have the workshop, that's where we do tell it all, basically, right? You know, I mean, and I never thought of that. So that was my little aha moment. So I appreciate you for teaching me that. That was awesome. You're so muted, dude.
You know, we have many people inside of the workshop that have actually passed their expectations. Have actually gone to different levels and have made it and become different people because of the training they get inside of the workshop that we have every Saturday. And I was just wondering if perhaps anybody here on the panel could talk about that.
If you don't mind me saying first, I wanted, you already mentioned her, Andrea. She found her passion. She did go away for a little while to take care of her her personal matter, but when she came back, just like Bob, when she came back, she was ready to go, and she found her passion about her dog, about in other people's dogs, and now she's writing a book about it. I never saw that coming. And I thought that was the coolest thing. And I just wanted to say about Maria is that when she first got on, and I know Jamie has said this before too, when she first got on, she's from the Netherlands, and she was so afraid of people not understanding her because her English isn't her first language. But as she kept showing up, and as we kept kind of helping her out and having her speak more, because there is a method to our madness. When you tell us your secret, we're going to try to push you out of your comfort zone to get past that, or your fear, not your secret, but your fear. But anyways, we had her speaking some more, and her English is getting so much better, and now she talks a lot more, which is awesome, because that girl's got a lot to say. A lot to say, and it's usually something that's she has the intention of helping others always. Whenever she has something to say, it's always in the intention of like helping others, which is awesome. And then one more person, if I could say, is Jamie, of course. I want to call him out. I've seen him growing so much. I thought it was so cool that when he was on Wisdom Wednesday, and he would always type all these cool comments. And I'm like, dude, this guy's smart. Why isn't he on a panel or something? You know, because I'm like brand new. I'm like, why am I here? I'm not worthy of this guy. Look, he's so smart. You know? And then all of a sudden he's here on the panel now. I thought, you know, adding to the value, which I think is amazing. And he's chipping away the rough edges and finding out his true passion. And I think he's gone from this dude who works full time building designs for bridges, and all of a sudden he's goes and does this awesome thing and finds his true passion, right? And turns it into, like, how many businesses did we go through? We have like 4 or 5 income streams that you can bring in. How freaking cool is that? I think that's awesome.
Jamie, speech.
Yeah, we went through several different income streams that I can attack, and actually, I'm working on a couple of them right now, fixing my own computer. That's the bad thing about the IT guy. His computer's always the worst one in the bunch. But you know, but the people I think have grown in the workshop the most, you know, I come in at the right time. You know, the teachers appeared when I needed them, and that was you and Dave, and that just helped me grow into who I am today. So I have to give you guys some of the credit too, because, you know, and Pops as well, because, you know, Pops has been there for me too. You know, we had some good conversations when you guys were down here, and, you know, all three of you have helped mold me into who I am today. And, you know, I'm grateful to all of you for that. So. But the people I want to give, you know, the biggest shout outs to, you know, are Maria. Maria always, and I heard her say it this past Saturday, you know, she is doubting herself again. She needs to, I have some questions this Saturday for her, actually, as part of a coaching session that I want to do on Saturday to maybe help her get out of her stuck zone. But Maria, you know, she needs to just build on her confidence. She is very powerful. Her English is leveled out so much. She speaks so clearly now. You know, and she needs to just believe in herself. And that's where it all starts in the online marketing world. You have to invest in yourself and you have to believe in yourself. Because when you don't believe in yourself, you get stuck. And then you start to fail. And then you start to kick it around. Well, why can't I do this? You know, and I'm not one that says I don't go through this, because I do go through it myself. Saturday after the workshop, you know, we had a big workshop. I listened to how Sonia was stuck, how Maria was stuck, and a couple others, how they'd been in a funk and they were stuck. And, you know, and I didn't really think about it too much. Then me and my wife went grocery shopping like we do every Saturday afternoon. We were talking about it. And I know actually it was last night, Sunday night, went grocery shopping. But I thought about this all weekend. And I said, you know, I've had some good success. I said, but I'm not sure where I'm supposed to be going or why I'm not having the success I want to be. And my wife looked at me and said, Katie believes in you. She told you what you need to do. I believe in you. You're a lot smarter than you think you are. You just need to get out there and start doing it. Get your websites built and start doing it. Quit playing the boohoo game and get on it. I'm like, oh, okay. My wife approves. My wife supports me. Ding, ding, ding. Light bulb. You know, so when we come back home after grocery shopping, I totally redesigned my whole James J. Shaw blog. I got some images and some text I need to fix on the front page, but for the rest of it, I've got it all redesigned. So if you guys want to go check it out, go check it out. Give me some criticism. I got rid of the motion video, and it's got the thing I had all over the page, light bulb. So, you know, and another person I want to give a shout out to, Ricky, is, you know, this dude is just kept going. I remember when I had him on my show, he was so distracted, you know, he was not having the success he wanted, but he kept coming up, kept showing back up, kept working harder and harder. And now he's doing his own show. He's having success. He's recruiting some people, you know, and that speaks volumes, you know. And, you know, Melina, is that how you say her name?
Melinda.
I think that's how you say
Melinda,
her name.
yeah.
Melinda, that's it. She taught an awesome strategy like 2 Saturdays ago, you know, and I'm so intrigued by it and so inspired by it. I got to go back and watch the video again because I missed half the notes because I was working on my computer at the same time trying to listen. So I've got a bookmark to go back and listen to it. So I got to go back and listen to it. But the strategy she was teaching is like, wow, where in the hell has she been at all this time? You know, and these people just keep stepping up in the workshop. And there's so many others that I can, you know, give credit to that I don't, you know, and I can give some names. You know, Sonia is an awesome person. Maria, Lori, and what's the other new girl's name? I can't keep up with all these names, you know. Lori,
Olivia.
you know, she comes from a marketing background. She's awesome. Olivia, you know, and the true crew that's been there the whole time, you know, we all been building each other up all this time, and the workshop is formed into such a mastermind that if you need help, you're stuck, that's the place you need to be, because we open your mind up and help you see what's possible. We chip away the rough edges. That's the title of my book when I get around to writing the book, Chipping Away the Rough Edges. So stay tuned for that.
I heard a mic drop on that one. Oh, I love it.
Is Dave frozen?
No, I'm not frozen. I don't think so. Am I?
Nope, you're good.
I'm good. Yeah, it's an amazing thing to see, and you know, we've got a lot of people inside of our workshop who are actually venturing out to do other things now, or reaching out to start their own teams and build their own products, go out there and do stuff, and that's what we want. We want you to be able to fly on your own. We want to kick you out because we love you. We want to kick you out because we care about you. And it's not that we'll never have you on, but the truth of the matter is that if you don't figure stuff out, if you don't work in a way that you can actually go out and expand, you're just going to be in the same place all the time. That's why we push you to do things and get you out of your comfort zone. All right. One of the very first things that you need to do in order to get onto this workshop is you need to go ahead, first of all, get started by clicking on the link below this video. And then once you're in there, you'll have a 10-day trial where you actually get to see and use all of the products that we all have. All right. You'll have full access to that. And then you get hold of us and we'll add you to a group. And when you get added to that group, you have a responsibility to make your own video. And we're not there to show you how to make the video, because we want you to go out and get out of your comfort zone and figure it out for yourself. And that's what this workshop does, is that we push you to do things. All right. And we've had people, we've had laughter, we've had tears, we've had people succeeding. We've had people that have made huge monumental mistakes, but at the end of the day, we all come together and we all help each other to move on forward. And, it isn't about, going there and stopping. It's about keeping on moving. It's about making sure that you never stop. And it's just like when a butterfly gets born into the world, and it's got to get out of this cocoon. And this cocoon is holding this butterfly inside. And it's not that it's holding it inside. The cocoon is actually sticking to the butterfly. So it's got to move, and it's got to struggle, and it's got to push, and it's got to go through a hang of a rigmarole to get out of that cocoon. And here's the sad part. If you help that butterfly get out, if you pried away for the butterfly is going to die. The butterfly will die. And that's why that butterfly needs to kick out of that cocoon by itself. And this is why the struggle of working is so important. This is why it's important to get it done yourself. Because if you have somebody giving you a handout, if you have somebody giving you all of the answers all the time, you're going to die. You're going to die. And this is why we know that when we have reached a certain level and we finally get there, some of us break down. Some of us break down in tears, because it's been such a moving time in our life that we can say, you know what, I finally did it. I experienced that on my very first sale. When I got my very first sale, I couldn't believe what I had done. I couldn't believe it. I had just broken down, and I was like a little girl. I just broke down in tears. And I could not believe that I could have done this, selling my very first product. It was such an emotional moment. I had struggled for 8 months, working so hard on this one strategy that I had battled with, and I had worked on hours and hours and hours until I finally got my very first sale. It was an emotional time. But I guarantee you that had Ryan, my mentor, got on and done the actual strategy for me, I wouldn't have had the same result. I guarantee you that much. And it wouldn't have felt as wonderful as it did. Pops, you wanna add something?
Yeah, actually, I want to talk. Actually, I'm going to bundle 3 people together that have recently joined us on the workshop. And Lori is here. She's in the comments, and Olivia is not. She was having some surgery or something going on. And Larry, who typically has to get up at 4 in the morning to go, because he has a full-time job. Anyway, these people took direction from us when they joined, and they just took action. They're growing. They're getting their stuff together. And the reason why is because they're willing to listen. They were open to suggestion, and they had questions when they needed to ask. And instead of trying to do it on their own, they took direction. And that's an important part of our group, in that actually, you know what, and they even contribute, because, people, a lot of people that come in and join us are already in the industry at some point. And I know I veered away, but they have some experiences that we may not have seen yet. So even people that join us new have something to contribute, and that gives us aha moments too that we can expand on. So there's always something happening in our group that benefits everyone, and it's like Napoleon Hill, says, you get a mastermind group together, and just about anything can happen. Just about anything. We just keep growing, and people keep having success, and we all love each other. We get along famously because we all have the same interests, and we all have the same goals, and we share our lives and ourselves with each other, and we're willing to listen. So it's super awesome.
Can I just add one more person, Dave? Thank you. Is Pops. I do have to say that Pops, I remember when you said that you get in front of the camera, and I remember going through this with you, Pops, is going in front of the camera, and you said you just beat a sweat being in front of the camera, and now we're going off and doing like our own little show. That's, something on the side, like on a Tuesday or something. So and you can just easily go on the camera now. It's because of these hangouts and because of these workshops, because these workshops are done on video platform called Zoom. So it's not like what you're seeing now. It's everybody gets a chance to speak, and everybody gets to see each other's faces, and everybody gets, it's really cool. So I think that's helped a lot, not just Pops, but a lot of other people too, to grow and do videos, which is awesome. Back to you in the studio.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've also got to say, so we all appreciate Katie as well. I got to say that in all honesty, I think if Katie wasn't my business partner, I don't know what I would have done. There's no ways I would have been able to go through this workshop. There's no ways I would have been able to carry on as long as I did with these hangouts. I appreciate you so much. And I know a lot of people here do as well. I think it was a while back when Katie was not able to make it. We were sitting there on the workshop, and it suddenly felt so lonely because I was thinking, gee, what the heck? Katie is normally the person that is there bouncing back ideas and helping in the comments and just being super helpful. And she's very creative. And that, one of the things I've noticed about Katie growing in the years that I've known her is that in the beginning, when you heard her speak about something, she was all over the place, all right, completely spaghetti, just coming out, like trying to make a point and going from A to number 44. And now she can actually go from A, B, C, D, E, and she's got a very concise message. And that's one of the biggest things I've noticed by Katie is that her concentration for keeping a point is just amazing. And she's having fewer and fewer squirrel moments, although it still happens, and I get them as well. But it just shows me that having an amazing community really helps us, and I've seen Pops grow so much. All right, the guy is creating success after success after success, and you want to know why? It's because he is surrounded by people who are successful. And we want to encourage you, if you are not having success in your affiliate marketing, in your MLM, in whatever business you're in, and you don't know what to do, and you've stumbled across this video and you're thinking, gee, I really want to be with a group of people that can help me. I want to say that, that button down there below this video is there for you to click on and join, and then to contact whoever you joined with, to contact one of us, and so that we can help you. But there is one thing that we will not tolerate, and we are very, very serious about that, is that we cannot tolerate any negativity, all right? We don't have it in our group. It's something that we really do not want at all. If there's any negativity in the group, it's just bye-bye, because we want people to be encouraged, and we want to have a culture of encouragement. We don't want to have a culture of putting people down. And which is what I'm going to be talking about either tomorrow or the next day. I'm making a video about that very fact, about what to do with negativity and how to deal with it. So that's incredibly important, and that's why we take it dead seriously. And if there's any issue in the group, all right, and then you just get booted out. And we're not saying that to be frightening. We're saying that because we want people to be around people who are there to encourage each other, not to put everybody down, all right, because we don't like that at all. And that's why, and we're doing it out of love, all right. So if we kick you out, it's because we love you. If that makes any sense. So with that being said, we're at the top of the hour almost. We've got about 5 minutes, but I do want to say that yes, it is true. Katie and Pops are going to be starting their own show near in the future, so keep that in mind. We're not sure on the time yet, but or the actual date yet. Or can we say that yet? Was that finalized or what?
It was a little hiccupy. Are you asking us what time it is? Our hangout?
I'm saying, have you settled on a time yet, or on a day? Or
yeah, April 3rd, Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern time, which is an hour before Ricky.
An hour before? I never got that.
Yes, an hour before Ricky.
Okay, cool. So, that's amazing, and we want to give them our full support to make sure that they get going and get that started. And this is what it's about. We're expanding, we're growing, we're moving, and that's what we want. All right? We don't want to keep people in a prison where you have no prison. I'll tell you something interesting about a prison, and I heard this a while back. We are surrounded by our own prisons. All right. And a prison is, you might think that you're free and that you're not in jail, but I'll tell you what, they did this experiment with a lion who was kept in a cage. All right. It was like 12 by 6 in this cage in a field, and they put the lion in the cage. And every single morning they'd come out and feed the lion and put the meat inside and the water so the lion would feed and drink. And they did this for a very long time. All right. They did this for a few months. And then what they did is they removed the cage from the lion and they went to feed the lion. And what they did is they put the food just outside the cage. What they found is that the lion would not move. The lion would not move from the spot where that cage was. Even though the cage was taken away, that lion will not move. And the truth of the matter is that we all have those invisible cages, because we all, for some reason, think that we are not capable of more than what we are. And I want you to understand that there is no real difference for me who lives in South Africa as opposed to somebody who lives in America. The only difference, speaking is geographically, the fact that I live here as opposed to living in America. That's the only real difference. And everything that is stopping me from succeeding is in my own mind. I need you to understand that. Your psychology is the thing that either stops you or makes you. And the way that we get out of that, the way that we actually step out of that invisible cage, is by, first of all, recognizing that we're in one. All right, it's like when you have an addiction problem. The first way you get over an addiction is to understand that you have a problem. So you need to understand that you have a problem and that you need to work on ways how you can step out of that. So once you are aware of that, that's when you start getting into training to help you get out of that. Because a lot of people think that they're free when they're not. A lot of people think that there's somebody who can actually achieve something when, or a limited amount when they can't. Some people believe they can never get a promotion. Some people believe that they will never ever amount to anything in their life. I can remember meeting with a friend of mine. Every single week we'd meet in this coffee shop, and we'd have coffee together, and we'd fantasize about the kind of cars we wanted to drive, the families that we have in the future, and we dreamed that we could actually own this coffee shop and come in and be plied with endless amounts of coffee all the time. We just love this coffee shop so much. And my favorite vehicle was a Volkswagen bus. A Volkswagen bus. That's my favorite car in the whole world. You thought I was mental because I wasn't driving a Maserati or anything, but that was my favorite car. That's what I wanted to drive. And then at the end of the evening, the waiter or the waitress would come up and say, "Could you please settle this bill? My shift's about to end." And all reality would just come crashing down, and we'd realize about bills that we needed to pay and the cage that we're in. But we had dreams, and I had a dream of succeeding something far more, and that was to get out of the situation I was in. And that's what got me here, is just understanding that there's far more to life than where you are right now. You are exactly where you are because you have decided to be there. Nobody else has put you there except you. So you need to start stepping out of your comfort zone, doing things that are different, getting up earlier, going to sleep later, stopping something significant like subscribing to Netflix and binge watching stuff. Stop doing things that are eating up your time. Stretch yourself. Do something different. With that being said, we will say goodbye. We will see you same time next week. You guys want to say goodbye?
Goodbye.
Bye.
Good night.
We'll see you same time next week. Don't forget, Jamie's on Thursday. Wisdom Wednesday is on Wednesday. And if you're with us, we will see you on the workshops on Saturday. And Maria and Sonia is on Tuesday, 4 p.m. Eastern, I think. Is that right?
Yeah,
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. So many to remember. And, of course, Ricky is at 8 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday. So we'll see you guys same time next week. Cheers.
Yeah.